her car is now in the shop. So she said to try and hitch a ride back because it's literally only like a 12-minute drive away, but there are no buses in between. So I've been walking for 20 minutes and nobody's willing to pick me up. And I don't know why. She was like, oh, it'll be so easy. I'll get somebody in a heartbeat. And I was like, okay. So I'm in Rosemary's house and it's really nice. Like I have like a whole wing to myself. There's a few bedrooms over here and then a bathroom and it's very fancy. So let me show you my room. I mean, it doesn't look fancy now that I put all my, backpacker stuff in it, but like there's a desk and everything. So I think it'll be good. She showed me around and told me the different like chores I could do, which was great. Now I know, it's nice to have everything up front so that I can kind of organize when I want to do what. Because I have meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I want to like do a little front end stuff. So I'm also not like freeloading for too long. I had a lovely dinner with Rosemary and cleaned up afterwards because she made dinner. And then there was this program on television that was like a tourist program about Ireland. And they had mentioned knitting, and so Rosemary was like, come on, we can watch it. And it was interesting. It was really cool. I learned a lot about Ireland that I didn't know. And there was actually one part they were talking about a cafe in Phoenix Park, and I'd actually been there. It was in week 1 vlog, I think. But that's where I got a pastry with my grandma money, and I just felt so lucky. I was like, wow, I did that. So that was cool. I'm feeling pretty good. Like it's nice here. I've got my own room, I've got a bathroom, the shower was hot. So much nicer than a hostel. So I'm all snuggled in bed. I've got a hot water bottle. Reminds me of Peru. And I'm going to watch a little Netflix, I think, and then go to bed. I'm walking on the Greenway. It's I guess the main thing to do because I'm in like a little teeny tiny town, but it's really peaceful. Occasionally a bike goes past, but for the most part it's just me and nature, which is a nice break from all the big cities I've been in. So I'm enjoying it. This morning I went to church with Rosemary. She invited me, and I mean, everyone who knows me knows I'm not religious at all. I thought it would be an interesting like cultural appreciation kind of moment. It was interesting. It was a really cute little church and everybody was very nice. So I feel like I've checked that off my list now. And then I did a lot of outdoors work for Rosemary this morning because it was a nice day. It's gotten cloudy, but it was sunny and beautiful for hours. So I did some weeding and some garden work. So I was weeding the roses and one of them clearly didn't like that. So we're taking a wee break to bandage it up because this is just a mess. She wanted me to mow her lawn with a weed whacker. She doesn't have a lawnmower. So I did about half of it, but it took 2 charges on the battery, so I think it'll take another 2 to finish it up. So hopefully the weather holds tomorrow and I can finish that up. That would be great. I'm kind of looking forward to when I'm, done being out in nature and walking around and stuff, going back and making a nice hot cup of coffee and getting a little bit of computer work done. That's the factory for the porridge that I had in Ennis that was so good. It's so fun. Well, today was really nice. Rosemary is just lovely. She's wonderful. We had great food. She let me make a cobbler, which was like it sounds like nothing, like, oh, lucky you, you gotta bake something. But I haven't baked in so long, and it truly is my therapy. Because I don't know, it's just relaxing, and then you get like nice warm sugary things at the end. But I just haven't in the hostels because it wouldn't be relaxing to cook in a kitchen when there's 20 other people who want to use it, because I would feel bad about hogging the oven for 30 or 40 minutes or whatever would be required to bake something. And who knows if there'd even be like all the tools I would want to bake, whatever. So it was nice. It felt like, not like I was living at home, but kind of like I was visiting a distant relative that I maybe met once at like a family reunion. Like it felt like kind of familiar, which was really fun. I'm so excited for some cobbler. It's gonna be so good. Listen to that. That's the sound of deliciousness. It was a nice change of pace. The highlight was definitely the cobbler. I'm very excited. Rosemary also really liked it. She came in and had some, and she was like, "Oh, you're such a treat to have here. Made me coffee and cobbler," and I was like, "That's such a low bar." But I'm glad she's happy. Also, isn't this a cute little pillow? It's got little bumblebees on it. Okay, good night, guys. So today was a pretty, I would say, average day as someone living in a house for free in exchange for doing chores. I spent the first 5 or 6 hours of the day getting a lot of chores done. I think we're kind of like front loading it because at dinner, Rosemary was like, "Yeah, you've pretty much done everything. Like, don't worry about it tomorrow." So that's great. There was a lot of organization. There was moving around things. There was cleaning out stuff because there's a moth infestation. There was a lot of cleaning of brass, like putting like the Brasso stuff on there and shining it up. It was really funny because she had pointed out two things, and so here I was thinking it would be like a 5 minute chore, like it would take longer to set everything up than to do it. And then as I'm like getting ready, put on the gloves, she was like, "Oh yeah, and if you could do the stuff on the mantle as well." And I walk in and it's like 20 pieces. I was like, "Okay." I didn't mind, I just wasn't expecting it. I went to the shop for her as well. I ran some errands, so that was kind of fun. I never lived near somewhere where you could just walk to a store, like to just run an errand and have it literally be 5 minutes away. Walking was very cool. I quite enjoyed that. And so then the rest of the day, I worked on my computer. I actually had a few breakthroughs, which was great. I got a response back from a hostel in Kilcar, Donegal. So I kind of figured out where I'm going to be for Donegal. I was looking at like different places I could stay, like homestay kind of things. I was looking at different hostels. I had been emailing people and just nothing was working because Donegal's a really remote sort of county. Like it doesn't have a bunch of buses and that kind of stuff. So it's really hard to get around unless you have a car. So I wanted to be in this one specific spot so that I could do most of my stuff while I was there. So the homestays weren't really an option. So it was just kind of a mess. And I've been trying to figure it out for literally weeks. And I finally found a hostel that like existed and emailed them and they emailed me back and it was great. Oh, I also trying to figure out the McKernan Woolen Mills thing. And so I texted the owner again and I was like, "Hey, have you figured out like a transportation thing?" Because she's been asking people that live there, if they are commuting basically from where Brendan's house is. And she said she hadn't been able to find anyone who had transportation options, but that she has a neighbor who hosts woofers sometimes, which is, I mean, some people know it's a worldwide organization of farmers. My family is like a host on there. But that this neighbor was also a host, and she's like, he has a spare bedroom, so like it's possible you could just stay there. And then I wouldn't even have to worry about transportation. So I'm waiting to hear back about that, in which case I wouldn't be staying at Brendan's house. But like that's fine. Yeah, that's kind of my project updates. And then tomorrow I'm meeting someone from, she works at one of the Waterford universities, but she's associated with some of the people at Tyndall Institute, which is one of the places I visited in Cork. So I'm going to see her, and that'll be interesting. And then I think I'm going to wander around the Waterford city, since this may be the only day that I have the opportunity to do that. And Rosemary gave me some cool things to check out. There's a museum that sounds really interesting from a textile perspective. And she told me about a little cafe that has good cakes. And I feel like I can indulge in a cake because I haven't been spending any money on food this week because Rosemary's covering it, and I'm like, I feel so lucky. So I'm excited about potential cake tomorrow. And it's been raining literally all day, and I think that's going to continue all week. And I didn't mind it. It felt very cozy because the house is like warm and cozy, and whether I'm cleaning or doing computer work or whatever, like I don't know, it's cozy, and I don't feel kind of cabin feverish, which I felt a little bit in some of the hostels when it was raining all day because I don't have as much space in the hostels. Best case scenario, I have a bed, maybe with some privacy. More often than not, with no privacy. I'm just thinking back to Sheila's hostel in shoot, where was that? It was Sheila's and then Brew Bar. I switched partway through. I think it was Cork. It feels so long ago. Yeah, Sheila's in Cork, I believe, was the one where the dude was sick, and that got me sick. And that was just all around. That was just rough. Like, there was no curtains on the bed. Like, it was cramped and smelly, and the sick dude, like, that was, God, that was a very uncomfortable couple of days. But yeah, and it was raining for a lot of that, so it was like, well, where do I go? Because my general go-to when I don't feel like spending time in the hostel is to go to a park or to go to a library. And parks I could have done. Libraries, I don't think I went to one in Cork. I don't know why. I might not have been near one. I don't know. All right, well, I think that covers it. This was kind of rambly, but I'm in a good headspace. All right, I'm gonna go take a shower. See y'all tomorrow. So I'm outside of Waterford at SETU Waterford, which is the university that one of the people I'm meeting is at, and just doing a little walk there. So yeah, I'm meeting Francis today around 10. I'm about an hour early because there's limited buses from Kilmac Thomas, which is where I'm staying, and so I'm hoping there will just be like a nice open area where I can, find a corner and work on my computer, but I guess we'll find out. And then after I meet with her, I'm gonna head into proper town and go to a few museums, and there's something called the Tower, so I thought I would check that out. I am so tired. I'm literally gonna verbalize this update and then I am crashing. So let's pick up where I left off. I was going to SETU Waterford to meet with Francis, and that was great. I mean, I did the meeting, we both chatted about our different projects and how we could work with each other, and she gave me a little tour of their facility. They had a Tesla suit, which was really cool. It's to help with VR and augmented reality. You wear it, but there are a bunch of sensors in it, and it basically gives your body feedback to whatever you're doing in the VR or augmented reality or whatever. And it just looked cool. There was also this like room of cameras that is used to essentially take a bunch of photos of an object, like a human, a machine, whatever, and then it can render it as a virtual object, which reminded me of some of the like toys in Bones, the TV show Bones, where they would like scan bodies and stuff. And from there I went to a few museums. I went to something called the Tower, which is a museum from a really, really old tower. I went to a medieval museum. I also went to a museum of time, which had a bunch of cool clocks. Honestly, that might have been my favorite. It was just very interesting. There was all kinds of interesting clocks and sciencey things. There was a microscope. There were astrolabes. It was very cool. It was very nerdy. It was a good time. Oh, exhausting. I also went to a yarn store, got some yarn, but in the Museum of Time, my phone, it was on like 45%. It just died. And so I had a wee moment of panic because I was worried that my phone had just like given up on life. And I was like, okay, there's two options. Either the sand that got in the hinge months ago has made my phone kaput, or it somehow just died on 45%. So I ended up going to a cafe so I could charge my phone and see if that would fix it. And once it was charged enough, I could see the like graph battery usage, and I did see that it just like cut off at 40 something percent, which is weird. I was like, does that mean my phone's gonna keep doing that? So I found a place that does like phone repairs. So I went in and I asked them about it, and I was like, do I need to fix this? Is it likely to happen again? Do you know what caused it? And they were basically like, I wouldn't worry about it unless it happens again. And I was like, well, but that was my question. Because I don't want to be, traveling with a phone that will die randomly. That was a fun and funky time. I was trying to navigate Waterford without my Google Maps, which is quite the feat for me. I managed to do it. I mean, I got to a cafe, I got to a phone repair shop, I got, around without using the phone, but I was stressed. I took the bus back. I ended up trying to get on a bus at 6 o'clock because it was bus 40 and it goes to Cork, and that means it stops at Kilmacthomas, which is where I'm staying. Except I didn't realize that only half the buses stop at Kilmacthomas. Apparently, just because you're on bus 40 going to Cork doesn't mean make the same stops every time, which was a bit confusing. I feel like every time I think I figured out the transportation here, there's something new. So I couldn't get on the 6 o'clock bus, and I had to wait till the 7:30 bus. So I just did some wandering without my phone. So it was very strategic wandering. As I was waiting for the bus the second time, like about 10 minutes before the bus was due to arrive, I got a notification from my Google Calendar that I had a video call in half an hour. And I was like, uh-oh. So the bus ended up being late. So it pulled up around 8, a little after 8. And my my video call was on WhatsApp, was for 8:30. And so then I'm like, oh no, what if my phone dies? I'm not going to be back. Like the bus ride itself is a little over half an hour. Like it's not going to work. And so this video call is with another potential host for this like homestay thing I'm doing, the work away, where I stay in somebody's house for free and do work for them kind of thing. And so I texted him on the app and I was like, hey, my bus is late. Can I call you in, half an hour later? And he didn't respond. I guess he didn't look at the app, which is totally valid. I mean, it's kind of a random app to be looking at constantly. But so I ended up calling him as soon as I got off the bus. So I'm like walking in Kilmacthomas at night. So it looks a little weird on the screen. Like it's very dark. You can hardly see me. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And I was like, well, if my phone dies, at least I tried. It did not die, and it was only like a 10-minute walk from the bus stop to Rosemary's house. So I called him. We chatted. We chatted for like 40 minutes. I ended up plugging in my phone when we got back to the house because it was dying. And I was like, okay, like this is enough. Let me eat my dinner, man. But I got some weird vibes from him. First of all, it is a guy living alone, which is like not necessarily horrible, but it is the worst possible option. So, but it wasn't just that. There were just some odd vibes. It wasn't like screaming sketchy, but it was hinting at it, and that's enough for me to look into other options. So there's a few other places that I can try to do this. So I'm trying to work on a sheep farm for a week basically, so I can get more of the wool production side of the Irish like wool knitting industries. And so there's a few other like sheep farm hosts essentially. So I'm gonna message them and see if I can get someone else during that week. Then after that call, I ate some lasagna. Rosemary made amazing lasagna. And then I did a little bit of chores for the workaway stuff. I would say it was like an hour, which is not a lot. I mean, I did a lot the past 2 days, so it's fine that today was less, but I don't want to be a freeloader. So I'm going to be getting up early tomorrow morning to get some stuff done before I go to another meeting. But I was doing like vacuuming and moth deterrent stuff tonight, and I'm going to continue with that kind of stuff tomorrow. I am so tired. Now that you have been updated, I'm going to bed. Good night. I just finished up with Mary. She is somebody who I was given the contact information from Libby, who's somebody I met in Cork. She was great. She was lovely. She had so much stuff to show me: knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, tapestry making. I was there for like over 3 hours, but it was lovely. I got a lot of cool pictures and videos and good information from her. Lobster.
So like each thing has a name, like, and these are just the bubbles. So I just made
Yeah.
Goldie bubbles.
So we've got
like,
bubbles, tree of life, lobster. What's this one? Some rivers?
No, it's just a chain, like,
Chain. Okay, yeah.
So that's that, And this is just double moss.
Double moss, yeah. I love the moss stitch.
This is garter.
Yeah. Wow.
So there you go.
So did you make this pattern up? Or
yeah, and
wow.
this is it, and
wore it.
and wear it. I do wear it, like,
When did you knit this? Was this a recent
one? Not at all. Years ago. Well,
Fair
not
enough.
that many years ago now. Like, I mean, I'm here 20 years, and I did it since I came down here. So
Okay.
I did it sometime in the last, I suppose, maybe 10 years.
Oh,
like,
okay,
or
wow.
15 years. Like,
Yeah.
I really can't remember when I did it,
And now I'm walking to town, and I'll find a little spot to hang out for an hour, and then Rosemary's picking me up. So Rosemary dropped me at Mary's and was supposedly going to come back and get me, but her car is now in the shop. So she said to try and hitch a ride back, because it's literally only like a 12-minute drive away, but there are no buses in between. So I've been walking for 20 minutes and nobody's willing to pick me up. And I don't know why. She was like, oh, it'll be so easy. I'll get somebody in a heartbeat. And I was like, okay. Worst comes to worst, it's only like a 2-hour walk. Actually, truly the worst is it's going to rain on me, because, like, look. So I guess we'll see. There's also, like, no shoulder to walk on, so, like, around some of the curves, I've been like, oh god, I'm going to get hit. That would probably be the worst. So I finally got picked up after walking for, like, an hour, and it was a very lovely couple. They were very nice. But then they dropped me off, and right away Rosemary called me, and she said she was on her way. And I was like, if I knew it was only going to be 1 more hour, like, I would have just stayed in town, instead of walking for an hour and then hitchhiking. Or trying to hitchhike for the hour while I was walking, really. So I'm in Dungarvan, and Rosemary came here to go swimming. She's got, like, a swimming club pool situation, and so I came to look at the beach. So it is chilly, it's in the 50s, but I think I'll take off my shoes. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll take off my shoes. This is so nice. I mean, it's cold, but I actually don't mind it on my feet. It feels kind of nice. And the rest of me is like bundled up, so I'm okay. But there's like hardly anybody on the beach, and it's so peaceful and gorgeous, even though it's like not a clear day at all. At least it's not raining. It's really nice out. The sun came out. It hasn't been out in days. This is so great. Look at her. She's so pretty. So the beach this morning was super fun. After the beach, we had to go in town to run some errands, and so I got to walk around Dungarvan for a little bit and see what it's all about. I went to a yarn store, I got some churros. Kind of a perfect day, honestly. Then we came back and had lunch, and I did some more cleaning and work around the house and everything. I'm still fighting with the moth infestation, so I was like spraying moth killer everywhere, and yeah, it was good. And then this evening I had a little time to get some work done. Yeah, now I'm working at my little desk here. So there's a little lamp and everything, and then yeah, it's nice. I like that I have a desk in my room. Like that's great. Gives me the good working mojo. And then tomorrow I'm heading to Doolin, and so it's like 7 hours to get there via bus. It's 3 buses, so I go from Kilmacthomas, which is where I am, to Cork, and then Cork to Ennis, and then Ennis to Doolin. And if you'll recall, I was in Ennis just a little bit ago, so that's kind of funny. I'm not really going places in an efficient manner in terms of transportation. I would love to, but so far, all of the places I've gone because I'm meeting certain people at certain times or there's events or whatever. Like Doolin, there's an event next week, which is why I'm going. So I haven't really had the opportunity to go based on what's easy to get to. But that's okay. So I'm heading to Doolin tomorrow. The first bus leaves at about 11:30. So I will be getting in around 7 p.m. I guess I'll end the vlog here. I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? Since tomorrow I'm just going to be doing some light housework and then skedaddling. I'll put that in my Doolin blog if there's anything interesting. So I hope this was interesting. If anybody is considering living somewhere for free while doing chores, I'd recommend it. It is kind of exhausting if you're trying to do, a full-time something or another. Like I'm doing Fulbright sort of full-time. It's not a traditional 9 to 5, but approximately 40 hours a week. And then also chores, kind of tiring. But it's a really cool way to like live with local people and really experience the culture and save a little bit of money. So I would recommend it in general. I don't think I'd want to do this for like 3 months of moving around, but I would do it for like a month or two. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. To all my friends and family, I love you. You mean the world to me. I'm Anne Ireland, and you've been watching me live in Kilmacthomas / Waterford for free. Bye!